Welcome viewers, hope you are doing great. In this video we are going to see about compound data types in Python. They are also called as sequence data type, and in sequence data type we have lists, dictionaries, tuples and sets. So in this video we are going to see about how to use all these data types. Stay tuned. I have opened up Spider IDE for Python. If you wanted to know how to install Spider, you can just refer my video on installing Python. And now we are going to start with the list demo. I am creating a variable list underscore name, and I am assigning the list 1357 to it. So list is declared in square bracket, and we can just treat this as a single dimensional array. Just like a string, a particular element in a list can be referred through its index. So here I am just printing list name, and then I am just referring it index 0. So it will display the first element in the string or the list, which is 1. In the same way, I can also refer different elements through its index. Now I am just trying to refer 2 colon, which means that from the second from the second index it will refer the entire list. Here we can see 5 comma 7. So as usual, list index also start with 0, which is similar to string index. And now if I refer minus 2 colon, then it just displays 5 comma 7. So the last element of the list starts with minus 1, and the last but one starts with minus 2. So it displays minus 5 comma 7. And then if I just put a colon in the index, I get the entire list displayed. I'll just comment it out, and then I'll just concat the list underscore name with one another list using the plus operator, and then I will assign it to a variable called big underscore list. So I am going to print big underscore list, and here as you can see, the list underscore name is concatenated with 9, 11 and 13, and you can see the bigger list printed. I'll remove the print statement. You can also append the existing list with one another element at the end using append. Here I am just using big list.append, and I am just giving 15 in the bracket. So if I print the big list, it will be having 15 at the last as the last element of the list. I'll comment the print statement. One another interesting property of the list is that it is mutable, meaning you can modify a specific element within the list. But if you take the case of string, they are immutable. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to just use this big underscore list, and then I'm just referring it third index, and I'm assigning it a value 8. Now if I just print the big list, as you can see, the 7 is replaced by 8. The third index is replaced by 8, which shows that the list is mutable. I'll comment out the print statement. Next, a single list can have different data types. So in order to demonstrate that, I am just creating a alpha underscore list and assigning it a value a comma b comma c, which is actually string. And then I'm going to just create a complex underscore list variable, and then assign the big underscore list plus alpha underscore list to it. So I'm essentially concatenating big underscore list and alpha underscore list and assigning it to complex underscore list, and I am just printing that out. As you can see, the complex underscore list has both the numeric as well as the string data types. I have commented out the print statement and I have created a new variable num underscore list where I have assigned 1, 2, 3 to it, and I am going to create a new variable nested underscore list and I am going to assign it with alpha underscore list comma num underscore list. So essentially nested underscore list is a nested list and it has both the alpha list and the num list in it. When I print the nested underscore list, you can see that both the lists are getting displayed, which are a comma b comma c and 1 comma 2 comma 3. So nested underscore list is as well indexed in the sense like you can refer the first list by just printing out nested underscore list of 0, and you can refer the second list within the nested underscore list by printing out nested underscore list of 1, as you can see. I will clear off the screen. Next we will see the demo on tuples. Tuples are similar to list, but they are immutable. So we cannot change any specific element within tuple as we were able to do it in list. And tuples are declared with round brackets. As you can see, I am declaring a variable tuple1 and assigning it with value 1, 2, 3 and declaring another tuple variable tuple2 and assigning it with value a, b, c. Tuples are as well indexed in the same way as strings or list. So if I print tuple of 0, I can get the first element of tuple 1, and if I print tuple 1 of -1, I can get the last element of the tuple 1, both of which you are able to see in the console. Let me just comment out this print statement. I'll create one more variable tuple3 and then assign it with tuple1 plus tuple2. Here we are essentially concatenating tuple1 and tuple2 and assigning it to tuple3. So when I print the tuple3, you can see 1, 2, 3 a, b, c is printed in the console. I can also create nested tuples of tuple 1 and tuple 2 and assign it to tuple 3. For that to do, I am just modifying the line number 6, tuple 3 equal to tuple 1 comma tuple 2. So here tuple 3 is a nested tuple statement and it houses both tuple 1 and tuple 2, and if I just print tuple 3, you can see that both the tuples are present and they are present as individual tuples. I'll comment the print statement. The next thing I just wanted to show you to prove that tuples are immutable. I am just taking the index 0 of tuple 1 and assigning it with the value 4, and when I run the statement I just get the error saying that tuple object does not support item assignments. So this proves that tuple are immutable and they cannot be modified. I'll comment out all the statements and just leave tuple 1 and tuple 2. So tuple can be deleted with del statement. Now I am going to type del space tuple 2, which is going to delete the tuple, and when I give the print statement after the del statement to print the tuple 2, you can just see the message that the name tuple 2 is not defined, which means that the tuple 2 which was declared in line number 4 has been deleted in line number 11. Next we will look into the demo of dictionary. Dictionary is one another compound data type in Python, and it is using the concept of key value pair. So whenever metadata becomes essential to understand the data, then dictionary is one good way to go about it. Here I am assigning a dictionary to variable person1, and the dictionary has name and the age. elements in it. So the name here is John and the age is 27. So I am just printing the person1 variable, and as you can see in the console, the name and the age is displayed. If I want to just get the name, I can refer the name attribute within square bracket, as you can see in the print statement, and the same applies for age attribute as well. I am assigning one more dictionary to variable person2, and I am printing the name attribute of the person2. As you can see, I am just getting Ben in the display. Now I want to assign the name of person2 as Ken instead of Ben. So what I wanted to do is I am just referring the person2's name attribute and then assigning it the value Ken, and then I am just printing the person2 dictionary. As you can see in the console, the name has been modified to Ken. So this shows that dictionary values are mutable. I'll clear off the screen. Next we can see set demo. Set are another type of sequential data type in Python, and it is declared within curly braces, and the only property or only difference, major difference that set has is that it will not be allowing duplicates within it. So here, as you can see, I have assigned a set 1, 2, 3 to variable set1, and I have printed the same. You can see the result in the console. One set can have different elements with different data types. So here you can see I am just appending a comma b to already existing set1. So the set1 is now having both integer as well as string data types in it. Now I'll add few duplicate elements to set1. So here after 1, 2, 3 a and b, I am adding 2, 3, 4, 2 and 3 being duplicates. When I just print the set1, you can see that the duplicates are omitted, and set1 is just having 1, 2, 3, 4 and then b, a. Another thing I can do is to declare a list. Usually list allows duplicate, so I am just declaring a list one which has lots of duplicate in it, and then I can convert the list into set, wherein I am just converting the list into set and then assigning it to another set variable. So when I print the set variable set2, you should not be able to see any duplicate in the console. Hope this tutorial was very useful to you. If you like my channel, please subscribe to it. Thank you.